Hello students, how are you all? I think all you are fine and doing well in this lockdown. So students, in this 10 to 15 days of vacations, so you should utilize it very properly. You should do revision, you should do that all kind of revision whatever taught in the class. If you have any doubts, you can ask the related questions, okay, by calling, by contacting your teacher. So all right, today we are going to begin with conditionals. Okay, so in the previous video what we discussed about clauses. Okay, the clauses are of two types. Okay, they are divided among two parts, dependent and independent. Independent, okay, they were divided among three types, which were they? Noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause, and we have discussed all these clauses with the suitable examples. Yes or no? Is it? Yes. So today we are going to begin with conditional clauses. Okay, conditional clauses. Among conditional clauses, what is coming inside? Let's begin with this. So today we are going to begin with conditionals and its clauses. Okay, yes. Yes, so here we have what is a conditional? What do you mean by a conditional? So this is a question here. Yes, so the conditional clause is divided among two parts. What we have read in the class. First one, it is if clause, another it is main clause. Okay, what do you mean by if clause? If clause is a condition. Okay, for an example, a person is keeping a condition in front of you. Let's say that person be your parents. If you score good marks in SLC exams, I'm going to purchase a new brand equipment for you. Is it or no? Yes, your parents are keeping a condition in front of you that if you score good marks, you're going to get something precious. Is it? And whatever the precious, it is a main clause, it is a result here. So all these called conditional clauses. Okay, fine. Yes. So what is a conditional? What we have learned, they were divided among two parts, if clause and main clause. Okay, let's read according with the example here. So we have an example. Okay, fine. So here we have an example. It says that if clause, okay, if it snows tomorrow, they will cancel school. Okay, instead of snow, let's take it as rain. Okay, yes, if it rains tomorrow, they will cancel school. Okay, when they will cancel school? If it rain. Okay, if it's rain, then only they are going to cancel it. Okay, when, but here in the sentence, if it snows tomorrow, they will cancel school. So here we have an if clause is this one, if it snows tomorrow, and what is the result? Okay, they will cancel school is a result. So this thing, if it snows tomorrow, is a if clause, they will cancel school is a main clause. This is what called conditional. Okay, it is called here conditional. This is what we have to memorize. Fine. Yes. Yes. In the same example, if clause is a condition, what we have read, main clause is a result, what we have discussed. So here we have an example. If it snows tomorrow, they will cancel school. What it means at all? Let's read with some explanation. With a condition, something may or may not occur. It depends on the circumstances. So here we have condition also. Something may or may not occur, but it depends on the circumstances. Then we can call it as an if clause. Okay, so let's read about the result. What it says. Read this explanation. The result is conditional to what happens or doesn't happen in the if clause or the condition. So the result will also be a condition, okay, to what happens or doesn't happen in the if clause or the condition. So the results will be based on condition, what if clause says, and this condition will be a result of that if clause. So this is all about an introductory part of a conditional clause or a if and a main clause. Okay, so here we have read what is conditional with this example here. Fine. Student, can I change the order of the clauses, or can we change the order of the clauses? Answer is yes, I can, or yes, we can with exclamatory. We can change the order of the clauses. Let's discuss about this. What are the order of the clauses and how we can change it? Okay. See here, we have changed the order of the class. So we had one example, what it was. See, this one. If it snows tomorrow, they will cancel school. So this part is an condition and this part is result. If it snows, okay, it is a discussion, it is an assumption. What is the result of it? Cancelling of a school. Is it or no? This is a result. So here in between we have what? We have a comma which is joining these two sentences. Okay, we have a punctuation mark here in between. So in the same example, if we write in a changing order, how we will write? They will cancel school if it snows tomorrow. So what we have did here, we have changed the order of if clause and a main clause. Okay, so here the main clause came first. Okay, by adding they will cancel school if it snows tomorrow, and the condition becomes this one, if it snows tomorrow. So whatever the comma what we have seen in this first example, it was curtailed here, it was detained. So this is how we have changed the order of if clause into a main clause, and in the main clause and if clause. So due by this we can say that we can change the order in if and main clause. Understood? Okay. Yes, now we are going to learn the types of conditionals. In the previous slides, what we have discussed, we discussed what is a conditional. The conditional were divided among two types, if and the main clause. If clause is an assumption, okay, and the main clause is a result of a if clause. First we have read this. Secondly, what we have read, we can change the order of a sentence, okay, by putting the main clause first and placing the if clause second. By little bit changes and removing the comma from a sentence, we can change its order, what we have read in the previous slides. Now let's begin the types of conditionals. Okay, so here we have the four most common types of conditionals. So first we have zero conditional, okay, type 0. First conditional, type 1. Second conditional, type 2. Third conditional, type 3. So here we have total four kinds of or four types of conditional. Now let's discuss about this brief. Yes, now let's discuss about zero conditional or type number 0. So what it is, what it means here? It means it is a general truth or fact always has the same result. So what do you mean by zero conditional? Zero conditional clause is a general truth. It is a general truth and it is a fact. Always has the same result, and it always has the same result. It means, okay, the truth or fact which have the same result, it means here the zero conditional clause, or it can comes under type 0. So here what is a mixture in this whole sentence? Which form of the tense we have to use? See, present simple plus present simple. So present simple, if it is in the form of conditional, if it is form of the if clause, then the main clause is a result. So it should also be written in the present simple, or it should, if the if clause is in simple present, okay, the main clause will always be in the simple present. So this kind of sentences can be called here zero conditional clauses. So here we have one example. First example, let's discuss it. If people eat too much, they gain weight. So example says that if people eat too much, they gain weight. So it is meant for you people also. If you people eat too much of food and this lockdown, you will only gain weight, you will not gain your memory. So okay, work hard. Okay, if you are eating good, According to that, you have to exercise daily, you have to maintain your health also, along with you have to sharp your mind by reading each and every day. Okay, so here if people eat too much, they gain weight. So this is what here the first sentence says. See the formation of this sentence. Okay, which form of the tense is used here? Simple present. Okay, in the if clause, it is in the form of simple present. They gain weight is also in the form of simple present. See, okay, now let's discuss the same clause by an example of another sentence. Okay, yes, now look at another example, example number 2. If it rains, the grass gets wet. Obviously, if it rains, okay, जो बारिश होगी, जो grass है, जो घास है, वो गीली पड़ जाएगी. Is it or no? Yes, obviously, if it rains, the grass gets wet. It is a simple sentence which is written in the form of simple present. So, if clause is in the form of present simple and the main clause is always in the form of present simple. Understood? So, what do you know about zero conditional clause? So, the zero conditional clause always speaks about the truth, fact, and always has the same result. Okay, if the if clause is in the form of fact, so the same result has also been expected in the main clause. This is what the zero conditional clause says here. So these two examples are a best one to understand the zero conditional or type 0 clause. Okay, fine, understood. Now let's begin with another clause, which is okay, type 1 conditional clause. Fine. Yes. So here we have first conditional or type 1. So first conditional or type 1. So what is the meaning of first conditional clause? Yes, the first conditional clause says here that it is a possible situation in the future or predicting a likely result. A possible situation going to be happen in the future. Okay, what kind of possible situation? Let's say one journal example which is based on your okay outcomes. Our exams were going to be conducted in June. Is it? So it is a possible situation. Yes or no? So it says that possible situation in the future or predicting a likely result. If our exams were going to be conducted in June, then definitely the government is going to be okay take going to be take our exams in said date. So here the definition is well matched with this example. What it says, reads it again. Possible situation in the future or predicting a likely result is called first conditional or type 1 clause. So here the formation of the sentence of first conditional clause is first in the condition. In the if clause we have to take the simple present, plus we have to take will for predicting something in future, plus verb will also be there. So it is an main clause. See the combination. In the if clause we have to take simple present plus will plus verb in the main clause. So now let's read about more about the first conditional or type 1. So here the first conditional clause, here we have if plus present tense. Is it what we have agreed? Okay, when to use first conditionals? We use the first conditionals when we talk about future situation which we believe are real or possible. So I am reading once again, listen it carefully. Okay, side by side have a notes with you, keep making notes with you. So when to use first conditional? We use the first conditional when we talk about future situation which we believe are real or possible. Let's take one example. Okay, these two example we will discuss it later, but take mine example. So what it says, if it doesn't rain, we will go to market. So here if clause we have if it doesn't rain, we will go to market. Will plus go to market. So this is a sentence what I have said you. If it doesn't rain, we will go to market. So I'm telling something about the future, and the future is going to be happen in the same likely manner what I have said. So is it or no? This is a first conditional clause. Now let's discuss and understand about the first conditional clause, okay, by best given example here with us. So first example what we have, if you exercise you will get into good shape. Yes or no? Yes, it is a real fact. Okay, some of the students in your class, they don't do exercise at all the time they were sitting in their home and playing video games and not taking care about their health. Okay, so what happens to them? Okay, their body shape looks like something pumpkin, they are pumpkin. Okay, so we can say them as a pumpkin, so you shouldn't be called as a title of pumpkin, so you have to do exercise daily according to this example. Again, read this example what it says. if you exercise if you exercise you will get into good shape. So here if clause we have if you exercise. Okay, it is in present simple present. You will plus get into good shape. So here the main clause is in the form of according to the formula will plus get into good shape. Is it or no? If you exercise you will get into good shape. So what the sentence is saying, if you practice exercise your shape will be good, you will remain healthy throughout the day. Is it? Now let's begin with another example we have. Okay, this one what it says, if it rains today we won't have the picnic. If it rains today, it is in simple present. We won't have the picnic. We wouldn't or we will not have the picnic. Okay, see the same formula, but here this sentence is in negative form because not is used here. We will not have the picnic. So this is what is best suitable. Okay, these two examples are best suitable for first conditional or type 1. Okay, understood? So here what you have to memorize, you have to memorize this definition. What it says, possible situation in the future or predicting a likely result. Or we can say, okay, first conditional clause, you use the first conditional clause when we talk about future situation which we believe are real or possible. This is all called first conditional clause or a type 1 clause. Understood? So here what we have read about the first conditional clause with two suitable examples. Now let's begin with the second conditional clause, what it says. Yes, so here we have second conditional or type 2. Okay, so what it says, what is a second conditional or a type 2 clause? Okay, let's begin with this. So here we have one definition. It is hypothetical or unlikely situation, unreal or not possible now or in the future. So the definition says that any situation which is not possible, which is not going to be occur, it is never going to be occur, then it always comes in second conditional clause. It always comes in second conditional clause. Okay, so write it down in the bracket, never or won't happen. This kind of sentences comes in second conditional or type 2. So what is the formula of second conditional clause? See, in the if clause, in the condition, in the assumption, the simple past comes plus would plus verb. So it is a result, it is a main clause. For let's say mine example, listen mine example what it says. For example, if I won the lottery I would buy a big house. If I won the lottery I would buy a big house. Could I am going to get a lottery in this lockdown? Who is going to give me? Everyone facing a money problem. Is it or no? Yes or no? Obviously, no one is going to give me a lottery. So how could I buy a house, a big house? So it isn't such a fake assumption. It isn't such a time wasting, okay, and energy wasting assumption. Yes or no? So these kind of sentences can included here in the second conditional or a type 2 conditional clauses. Now let's take another example. Okay, if I meet Prime Minister of India, I would say hello. Is I'm going to meet a Prime Minister of India? No. How he can meet? Okay, to me, if I want to meet him, I want to take an appointment for 2 months before. Okay, then only he can give some spare time to me to talk with him. Is it or no? So it is not possible to go his bungalow and meet him, okay, urgently. It is not possible at all because he is such a busy person. So here if I say, if I meet Prime Minister of India, I would say hello. Okay, so here I couldn't able to meet the Prime Minister of India in an instant, in an emergency manner, so I have to spend more time for this. Is it or no? So this is what called, which is never going to be happen in the future as per said, okay, words. So it is called and second conditional or type 2 conditional clause. So let's take another example. Okay, mine example, what it says, he would pass the exam if he ever studied. Let's take one example here. One example, let's say, okay, let's take an example of Ritik Khileda. Okay, Ritik Khileda would pass the exam if he ever studied. Okay, Ritik Khileda going to pass the exam if he ever studied. If he study well, he is going to pass the exam. If he don't study, he not going to be pass it. Yes or no? The same formula happens with each and every student, not only with Ritik Khileda. So here in the bracket, what we have seen, okay, Ritik Khileda never studies, so this boy never going to be pass. If he studies, he is going to be pass. The thing which is never going to be happen in the future, okay, and this kind of sentences can be added into the second conditional or a type 2 clauses. Now students, let's discuss with these two example here what we have here in this screen. So first example says that if I had $1 billion, I would buy an island in the Caribbean. Okay, if I had is a form of simple past. $1 billion, we have a comma here. I would plus verb buy an island in the Caribbean. See students, how is the formation of a sentence by adding a good form of the tenses here and this. Yes or no? If I had $1 billion, I would buy an island in the Caribbean. So this is the first sentence which is best suitable for the second conditional clause. So anyone can't buy an island, okay, anyone can't have $1 billion because, okay, this much of amount can be purchased by a big private company, not by an individual. So it is never going to be happen in the future. So it is all about an assumption, time wasting. That's why this example is taken under second conditional clause. Now let's discuss with another example we have here. We, okay, if I were you, I would quite smoking. Okay, don't take this example here. So let's take and change in. If I were you, I would, okay, I would going to become first in the race. I would be first in the race. Instead of smoking, I would be first in the race. Okay, so everyone starts saying, okay, and demoralizing a person. If I am there instead of you, I am going to score good marks, I am going to clinch first rank, I am going to be first in the race. Isn't or no? So this person, if they wants to be like that, why didn't they participated in the race? This is a big question or no? So you are a better than him, so you have shown some guts and you came here for a race and participated, no matter if you didn't got any position, but the main thing is a participation. Yes or no? But some of the people start saying that if we knows that we are going to be first, second, then only we participate, otherwise we are not going to participate. Yes or no? These people are totally based on their own assumption. So these people can be called here foolish people. So don't have to keep your own realization on it. So student, these two examples are the best suitable for this second conditional clause. Understood? All right. Yes, now let's begin with the third conditional or a type 3, the last conditional clause of the clauses here. So here what the definition says, imagine a different past. Okay, we are imagining a different past. Yes, imagine a different past here. Imaginary situation that did not happen in the past. Okay, all right. Yes, so here we have imagine a different past. Imaginary situation that did not happen in the past is called third conditional clause. Which one? This third conditional clause. Understood? Now let's take when to use this third conditional clause. See, and how to use this? We use a third conditional clause, okay, to talk something in the past that did not happen. If you are talking something about the past situation and it was not happened, and you are keeping an assumption, you are keeping a condition on that past situation, then it can be called here third conditional clause. This is what the definition says. Imaginary situation that did not happen in the past is called third conditional clause. Okay, so what is the formula of the third conditional clause? So here the formula is if plus past perfect we have to use. Okay, in which clause? In the if clause, in the condition, plus we have to use would plus have plus past participle. What do you mean by past participle? It is ed form. Understood? So here the formula is if plus past perfect form of the tense plus would plus have plus past participle. So this is a formula of a sentence. This is a formula where we have to use in the sentence while writing the third conditional clause. Okay, now let's discuss with some mind example. So listen here carefully. For example, if you had worked harder, you would have passed exam. Okay, if you had, okay, if you had worked, had plus work plus ed, past perfect, harder, comma, you would have passed exam. You would plus have passed ed exam. Okay, so this is a best suitable example for this third conditional clause, and it is best suitable example for you also. Okay, so when you can use this sentence, okay, after completion of your exam, if you score somehow not satisfactory marks, and you used to say what I have said, what if you had worked harder, you would have passed the exam, you would have scored good marks. Is it or no? So this is what happens with you all. Okay, okay, when you just tally your marks according to your past situation. Okay, fine. So what is a past perfect? Now discussed what is a past perfect here. So listen here carefully. Past perfect is an action or thing completed in past before any past action. Okay, in the past a past action was there, before that any action was completed, it is called past perfect. Understood? All right. Okay, now let's take another examples. Okay, if Chaya had visited Agra, she would visit Taj Mahal. If is a if clause, Chaya had plus visit plus ed, Agra, comma, she would plus visit Taj Mahal. She would have visited Taj Mahal, or she would have visited Taj Mahal. Okay, now let's take another example. If it's rained, the plants wouldn't wither. Is it? Yes or no? It is also a good form of the third conditional clause. If Payal had new shoes, okay, she would jog faster. If Payal had new shoes, she would have jogged faster. Okay, if Kalai had a cycle, he would reach school earlier. So these are the best suitable examples what I have said, and it is well said to the third conditional clause. Now students, let's discuss about some given examples, okay, on your screen. So first example we have, if he had trained harder, he would have won the race. If he had plus train plus ed harder, comma, he would plus have plus won the race. So the if clause is in the form of the past perfect. The thing which occurred in the past before any past action is called past perfect. So the if clause is the best suitable example of past perfect. And here you have would also, here you have also, you have the PP, past participle form of the win. Okay, won the race. Is it or no? Past participle form. All right. Okay, now another we have second example. If I hadn't been sleeping, if I hadn't been sleeping, it is in the past perfect, I would have answered the door. I would have answered the door. This is the best suitable picture which is given in the right side corner of this slide. Yes or no? So these two examples are the best suitable for the third conditional or a type 3 clause. So students, here we have discussed all the types of the conditional clauses. We have discussed zero conditional clause, first conditional clause, second conditional clause, and third conditional clause. Okay, so the main thing what we have to see in exam might be question will be raised like that. There will be two blanks and there will be some, okay, alternatives in the blanks. So you have to choose the best suitable alternatives for the blank by reading the given sentence, and you have to find that in which conditional clause the whole sentence is written and which is the best alternative. I have to choose it. So you have to check it and you have to choose one of it and you have to place it. So this is what. And another, how they will give the question on the clauses, they will give one sentence and they will tell you find which clause it is it is noun clause, adjective clause, or adverb clause. So the probability of both kind of questions will be there. So watch both the videos thoroughly, and after this video I am putting some, okay, worksheet. So kindly complete it. It is based on your textbook and have a better understanding of it. Okay, and I will give more worksheet on the same thing, and you have to solve it and send it to me. Okay, all right. So here we have discussed the third conditional clause. All right, fine. Students, so note down these conditionals. Okay, okay, so here you have a table. If clause plus main clause, if clause is a condition, main clause is a result. All right, fine. So here what you have given, the order of the clauses is changeable with no comma. So we can change the order of the clause by curtailing the comma and keeping the main clause first and putting the if clause second. We can change its order. Okay, we can change it. There were no restriction. So what is called zero conditional? Type 0, it is a general truth or fact. So it is written in the form of the tense present simple plus present simple. And what is a first conditional? Okay, it is an possible situation in the future. Okay, it is written in the form of the tense present simple, simple present plus will plus verb. Okay, what do you mean by second conditionals? So it is an hypothetical or unreal situation which is never going to be happen in the future. So it is a time wasting sentence. Okay, so it is written in the form of past simple plus would plus verb. And what do you mean by third conditional? It is an imagining a different past. Okay, so it is written in the form of past perfect, a thing which is occurred in the past before any past action is called past perfect. So would plus have plus past participle. Understood? This is what we have discussed about, okay, three conditional clauses including zero type of conditional clause also. Understood? So here we are going to, okay, conclude the whole conditional clauses, understand it. Okay, see it thoroughly. If I have any doubts, you can ask a question by contacting me. So for the time being, take care, have a nice day, watch this video once, twice, thrice, understand it properly and make notes. Bye bye students, take care.